What's Mortal Kombat doing?
Apparently, the last character and a bunch of cameos are locked behind story mode, and you need to unlock them, according to first reports by friends.
Is time truly just a flat circle? Do we go all the way around just to end back up where we were? Wherever you go, there you are.
Did we forget about history?
We're still doing this.
Is that what happened?
Man. Yo, like I just said, like they really don't know what they're doing, but they get a little bit closer each time. But then they do things that are just like, nah, we don't know what we're like. It's kind of like this, right? That's how you.
Maybe the story is so good that they really want you to go.
Look,
through
I
it.
don't know. There's a lot of discourse on the story ever since the spoilers leaked, and now the review copies are in people's hands, and and so on. So everyone's bringing all kinds of energy about that. I just keep it scrolling because I'm like, I'll look at it when it's time for me to look at that. It'll be time.
Yeah.
I have no interest in preemptively, hearing about it. But in terms of like unlocking methods, like, yo, if you can hear the collective groan from every like TO that just has to sit there and just do the fucking story mode run on every single setup, like, god damn it, dude, that sucks, man. Like, I know you can have things unlocked from a like narrative point of view, and then you have the single player story experience, but to then fucking do this and make it so that it's completely not, considering like the competitive aspect of it, that's so dumb, man. That's goofy shit. Unless they're gonna like sell you a fucking DLC ticket for $1 that's an instant unlock, or some bullshit like that, which I could absolutely see that being the case. I thought we were past this, but I guess not. And that, what that tells me, right? If this is not even quality of life, it's like mandatory at this point, practically, right? Like, if that is the kind of thing we're going backwards on, then all this quality of life shit we've been talking about, we're like, oh yeah, Street Fighter 6 is doing a bunch of great shit, is not gonna be seen in everything going forward. We're already seeing trips, the thought that like you'd have to not worry anymore about a lot of these things, I imagine is nah, no, we're still gonna have some bullshit to go through, still gonna have some hoops, and god, Mortal Kombat is gonna be the one to make you have to go unlock that shit. Like Street Fighter, at least they're like, hey, go through the story mode and you'll unlock costumes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cosmetics, really good ones you're gonna want.
Fun mode, yeah.
Damn it, man. Again, I'm not I'm not out here trying to be the one dying on the tower, on the not even the hill, the top of the fucking pyramid. I'm not trying to be that dude. But why? Like, there's things that indicate that, like, they have the right people around that are like thinking about the game in like a what's good for a fighting game kind of context. Like, hey, what's fun about this genre? How do we, work that in? And then also looking to push it outside of that. And definitely there's like the Hollywood angle of it, right? Like, how do we make this the most movie-like? How do we make it continue to appeal to people that are looking for a cinematic experience, that it's narrative, and the appeal of the fatalities and stuff is the same as the appeal of Megan Fox and Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? It's all that. There's two sides to what they're trying to market here, and it feels like this marketing side is kind of making decisions and then going and then you can unlock them in the game. Right? And then the game side is just like, yeah, okay. And then you have one gets to kind of dictate how the other goes to some degree. I'm just making this up. I have no idea.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't see how else like these backwards ass decisions come to be greenlit when anybody who has been a part of anything relating to these games for the last couple of years can tell you making things unlocked through story mode is fucking awful when they're mandatory and when people need to, sit down and go through every setup, and every time you go anywhere, anytime you want to play casually with anybody, you have to have that worry about. You have to worry about the save file. That fucking sucks, man. Ugh. You know, and while things will like, you know, and then gameplay wise as well. Like, I mean, we had the whole like, there's two discussions, right? There's this discussion of like MK as a whole versus other fighting games and where it stands, and then MK modern, where it stands versus where it used to be. So it's like MK as a whole versus other fighting games. It's like, yeah, not the best, and NRS is struggling, right, by comparison to the other contemporary examples. But when you frame it against where it came from, it's a shining star, right? It's a beacon.
Oh boy,
it's
beautiful.
So much better than it used to be, right? And then when you compare it to its immediate surroundings of its own thing, and that's where you're like, well, now we have to get into the hyper nitty gritty, in which case, like, some people would be like, I preferred when this character was there, or I preferred these specific mechanics, or whatever the case was. I know some people kind of rank the story modes you know, intensely, and there's like MK9 story mode was way better than 10s and 11s, and it's like they're all kind of goofy shit. They're all goofy shit. 9 was Soulnado's. Let's not fuck around and pretend as if there's a massively different tier list amongst them. You know, again, and this is getting into the nitty gritty of the gameplay, but it's like the way the breakaway system works is actually god awful compared to the original combo breaker, because some characters can combo you in a way where you can never break, and others can have situations where you break out and then they get punished for trying to continue their combo, you know, just because of the one way you changed it so that you can only do a combo breaker in midair as opposed to while you're on the ground, you know, and a couple other like just crazy things where you're like, oh, like you're trying to make this, you're trying to mess with it competitively, and you're trying to mess with it as a fighting game, and then there's these other elements, and overall we're trending forward, but there's these weird oversights where you're like, why did you think that was a better thing than this, you know? I don't know. I mean, I like, there's stuff I legitimately think is cool. Like, I think it's cool that you can't get chipped out while you have your super, right?
Oh,
I like the way the chip system is. Like, if you have your super, then you're not getting chipped out to death, and then once you spend it, now you can get chipped.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting. Like, you're like, okay, your comeback mechanic in a way is going to stop you from getting taken out if you don't use your own. But if you use it and or if you fail, then so be it. You know, little things like that are you know, interesting choices. But yeah, the difference between breakaway and breakers is like a huge, strange thing of a weird case of like, you know, if it's broke, then
don't broke it.
Then don't re-break it. Don't break it even further.